I am Dazel and welcome to my channel. Today is a sad day. If you guys haven't heard, Urban Decay is discontinuing their OG Naked palette. I think this comes as a shock to like everyone who loves makeup. I think if you are just getting into makeup, or a couple of years ago where I didn't know anything about makeup, I still knew what the Naked palette was, and it belongs in a lot of people's collections, and I feel like maybe that's why they're discontinuing it, because everyone has already, I guess. I don't know, this is my thinking. So today I'm here actually to give you guys a super close dupe to the Naked palette if the Naked palette has discontinued and you guys can't find it anymore, but you're like, oh my god, I should have gotten it there and then, but I don't have anymore, but I still really want the colors. This video is for you. And so I have my Naked palette right here, and if it looks like super brand spanking new, that's cause it is. This is the box that it comes in, and that is how the back looks. Should I keep this box since they're not gonna produce it anymore? I feel like this changed the industry a little bit, and it's like a revolutionary product, I feel. Why this is new is that I have always wanted the Naked palette, like always. And out of the original, I would say original 3, because I'm just going by numbers, I'm not gonna count like the heat and whatnot, but just the original Naked 1, Naked 2, Naked 3, I've always liked the combination of the first one the best. Because I like the more earthy tones in here. I'm not such a big fan of the darkness of the second one, and the third one is too pink for my liking. So I really like this. So the first one has always been my favorite, and I've always wanted to get it, but I've always put it like on hold because I'm like, well, do I need it now? Well, it's always gonna be there. Well, I don't have money. Well, you know, like all of these different reasons. And also because I bought the dupe a long time ago, really long time ago, and I'll talk about it a little bit later. But I bought it and I was like, well, since I have the dupe, it's so similar, might as well not get the original because I can get the same kind of looks, right? And then when Urban Decay announced that they were discontinuing the Naked palette, I was like, no, I have to get it now. Like, I have to. I can't think about it any longer. They're gonna stop production. I'm going to regret with my entire being not having it. So that's why I went to buy it. And also it is just much cheaper now. Firstly because they're discontinuing it, also because in the UK it is much cheaper than if I were to get it in Singapore. So that's why I didn't feel so bad that I have it. So let's get straight to the point. What is the best dupe for the Urban Decay Naked palette? That is the Makeup Revolution Iconic 1 palette. This has been out for a long time. I made a video of it years ago when I did this massive Makeup Revolution haul and talked about all the different types of dupes that Makeup Revolution produces. If I remember correctly, this palette is £4, and to me, I'm like, that is a crazy amount as compared to paying for this. And that's basically why I never owned the Naked palette, because I always had this and I always use this. This has been well loved. For the first time, I'm going to actually put them side by side in comparison. I'm going to do one on each eye and see if there really is a huge difference in terms of texture, pigmentation, color similarity, how it wears on the eyes, how it blends out. Everything I'm going to go in this video so that you guys can consider getting yourself this one if you can't get your hands on this one anymore. First and foremost, I just want to compare it as what it is. Vastly different. This one is velvety and it's long, and this one is plastic and whatnot. What's more important is what's on the inside. So if you open these two up, this is how they look like. I'm gonna do like a little insert properly so that you guys can see better. In terms of the color arrangement, this shade, this green khaki shade, and this brown shade have swapped on this palette. This is green and that is like a brownie shade. That's the only like difference in terms of coloration. Obviously, like when I first bought the Iconic 1 palette, the only comparison that I could have was looking at pictures of the Naked palette online or going to Sephora to have a look at it. But I've never really actually like put them side by side, played with them, swatched with them. So I'm gonna bring you guys in closer and we're gonna do each eye. So on this eye, I'm going to do the original Naked palette, and on this eye, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Iconic 1. So to me, this is like an experiment. We're going to use the same brush for both palettes. But obviously, I don't want the pigment to be left over, so I have a color switch here to just clean off the colors. I think the first color that we have to go into is the Naked color. In terms of like swatching the shades side by side, I'm going to do that at the end of this video. So that is Naked on this right eye. I'm gonna take the Dupe for Naked. So for Naked, they're both super similar. I feel like this side is slightly darker, but I don't know if it's because of my dark circles or it's the actual shade. But yeah, it looks slightly darker, maybe because it's slightly more pigmented, but we're just gonna have to move on. I'm going to go in with Buck and I'm gonna put that in my crease. As of right now, when I'm like pushing the brush into the palette, the Naked palette is definitely softer than the Iconic 1. For the Iconic 1, you kind of have to like dig into it with your brush relatively hard. So that is Buck. Done. Again, really similar. This side is slightly darker, but they both blended out really nicely, really easily. I didn't have any problems whatsoever. The next shade I want to go into is the shade Dark Horse. So I'm gonna put this on like the outer part of my eye, and then after that I'm gonna go into the Dark Horse Dupe. That is really pigmented as well. I mean, I can definitely tell not as pigmented, but still like for a 4-pound eyeshadow. And basically it just got all over my face. As you can see, this side is definitely darker. It's definitely more intense, richer. This side is not as dark. However, what plays a part in that is that this side has a sheen to it. It has a slight gold sheen to it, which makes it look not as dark because it's reflecting the light. But this side is darker because it looks more matte. The next shade I want to go into is Half Baked. And I'm taking it on this brush. And if you are interested in what this brush is, stay tuned to my next video because I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this brush and its brothers and sisters. It's a really interesting brush and I am really liking it to pack on pigment to the eye. I'm not going to use any Fix Plus or anything because I want to see how the shadows perform on its own. And I'm going to use the Half Baked Dupe on this eye. Okay, so this is like the huge difference. The Dupe side is definitely much chunkier. It doesn't really want to stay on the lids very well. I remember the many times that I had used this shade, I have to really go in and sometimes even use my finger so that I can get a nice like foiled effect, and I definitely have to go into Fix Plus so that it will actually like stick to my eye. So definitely this is the shade that I have seen probably the most difference in terms of texture and in terms of color as well. This shade is definitely lighter. It's the more champagne-y shade. This side is more of a true yellow gold and it's chunkier. It is still a good shadow. It looks like when I use Fix Plus and I put it and I like pack it on real tight, or I use my finger and really press it in, it looks beautiful. It makes me have this like really Egyptian feel, and I really like it. I'm gonna go in with Creep. I feel like we have to go in with the black shadow because, you know, black shadows are always tough, so we have to go in with that. And I'm gonna work it in to the outer corner just to give myself a little bit more depth. So I'm just gonna pile on. That is how it looks. I would say that, yeah, in terms of like how it applied and how it blended, there is definitely a difference. The original Naked one blended much easier. It looks like a nice gradient here. Here looks slightly a bit more messy. And also you have to like remember that you're paying £4 for this, and there will definitely be a difference in terms of like the quality, but it's still really good for a £4 palette. And if you can see, you can't see a difference. Like if I were to tell you which side is which, would you really have been able to tell a difference? I think the last color, as much as I want to go into every single color, I can't. But I think the last color that I'm gonna go into is Virgin, because they look vastly different. The Virgin in the Naked palette is much more white. I'm just gonna put it on my inner corner. And just so I can see a little bit more of the pigmentation, I'm gonna put it right under my brow bone. Wow. That is bright. And then I'm gonna go into the Virgin Dupe. And this is like completely different. It has more of like a peachy tone to it. It doesn't look as shimmery. But like when applied, they look really similar. In the pan, it looks really different, but when applied, they look so similar. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this. In the pan I can, on my face I can't. That's pretty cool. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna stop here for the eyes. I'm gonna do some liner, lashes, finish up my makeup look, and I'll be right back with you guys to discuss my final looks. So my face is done. I have got my lashes on. I didn't do my like wing liner because I did want the eyeshadow to be like visible, so all I did was like not even very dramatic lashes, just like normal Ardell demi wispies, just, you know, to give a little flutter. So let me just talk about these palettes. Can you guys tell which side is which? I mean, for like really eagle-eyed people, probably, but I mean, who's gonna know, right? Who's gonna know? Right now, I'm gonna insert some side-by-side swatch comparisons of the different shades and its counterparts so that you guys can have a look and see if there are any differences. I love the Naked palette. It is an OG palette, original, but because it's being discontinued, the iconic one is seriously a really good dupe. I will put the link to it down below because I know, like, for some reason searching it on the website is a little bit hard to find, but I will put a link down below in the description box if you guys want to get it. And I mean, I have to just bid a farewell to the Naked palette. You have changed a lot of people's lives, and it's sad to see you go, but I guess it should be exciting that new makeup will be coming out. And yeah, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to me if you haven't already. And I guess that is about it. I will see you in the next video. Bye!